Hello everyone, hope you all guys are doing well. Today we are going to start the fourth day of our Flutter camping. Today we are going to do some more basics of Dart, which includes functions and OOPS or object-oriented programming. So let's get started. So for this process we are going to use something called as Dartpad. If you're following my Flutter series, then you will already know that, but if you don't know, this is an online compiler for Dart. You can run your basic functions and try to work on that. So you can't write your Flutter applications here, but you can write and run simple programs. So I've already, in the last video, I've told you about the main function, the initialization function or the starting function. So in this video I'm going to teach you about the user defined functions. In that, it is very similar to what if you guys know C++, it is very similar to that. So if generally this basic syntax is the return type. So there are, based on that, we can have 4 return types, like 5 return types. One is void, then we have string, then we have bool, or we have int. So when your return type is void, the function doesn't return anything. But when you have the return type generally mentions what you are going to return back to the main function or the function that is calling. So in a void function, nothing is returned. In an int function, integer value is returned. In a string value, and in a boolean function, a boolean true or false is returned. So let's check. The advantages of using functions are you don't need to write the same code multiple times and make it big and not able to readable and unreadable. So it formats the code easier. It formats the code and makes it easier to read as well as execute. So here you can see like once we can write here multiple statements. So if I call helper again, all the statements will be printed again. So this is the advantage of using functions. It will reduce your multiple times of writing repetitive code. With this we can add something called as arguments. Whatever the details that you are passing from your caller function or the function from where you are calling to the to the other function, it's called arguments. So arguments are generally passed over here. Let me pass it as 112. Once you gain in the function declaration, also you have to mention that you have what you are passing or what you are getting. We have already learned about this. See, so if I pass a new value of 3, 4, the value will be changed. So these are user defined functions. Then we are going to learn something called object-oriented programming. Object-oriented programming is a very important topic in computer science. So objects are a type of user defined data structures. So if you The main advantages of using object-oriented programming is like you can cluster or make a blueprint of multiple data structures together to form one type, or you can keep a blueprint of one type. That's the advantage of using classes. Let's get started with oops now. So this is the starting code. So the code snippet starts with, or the syntax starts with class, the name, whatever you want to give. Let me give it as stock. Whatever functions you want to incorporate into it, like the name, I want the name associated with it, and age. Then I can have the breed. The error that you might be seeing now is due to a special type called as null defined. So the new this might not be seen if you are using a very old version of Flutter, but or a Dart, but it is seen in the new versions as it is null defined. So you can't define, like you can't give a null value to any variables. So what I am writing now is called the constructor. So constructor is a function which doesn't have any return value and has the same name as the class, but it is used to initialize the variables with the given values. So when I type this dot name, this dot read, so when I call this function, so when I call this function, as soon as I call this a new function, the variables are going to be allotted as they are arranged and how they are initialized. So you don't need to do it externally, but you can, if you do this variable is used to mention that it is a pointer that is used to refer to a particular value. So if you don't want to use this, you can use something called like this int. If you do, if you don't know how we are going to be, like how we are going to specify your values, then you can use this format as well. So just by mentioning late, you can get rid of all these errors. Sorry, so this is a way of mentioning it. So you can write your own functions as well. You can refer the values using this. So initializing this variable will be very easy, where we're going to give some values. So when I try my dog dot bark, my dot bark, sorry, a small typo. So when you type this, you will get your hello and is barking. So you can create multiple variables like this. Yeah, this is how it works. So you can create multiple variables like this and use it. You can ask me why is it useful in when we're doing when you're doing Flutter, but these become very important as when you're doing the structuring, when you're passing props, or when you're passing arguments. You might feel it like hard now, but when you're doing it, you will know how important it is. So in the next video, we are going to learn about further about OOPs, which includes um, inheritance, polymorphism, encapsulation, which are the pillars of OOPs. So until then, thank you guys. Goodbye. See you in the next video.